Today for the Potomac Bead Company. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make my Tubelets and Halos bracelet. A full list of materials for this bracelet is in the Show More section underneath this video. And if you're needing any of the supplies, you can go to PotomacBeads.com or PotomacBeads.eu. I hope you will join me in making my Tubelets and Halos bracelet. Okay, so for your first step, you're going to pick up four of your tubelet beads like this, and you're going to separate each one with an 11-0, a SuperDuo, and an 11-0. So, and if you start with an 11-0 SuperDuo and 11-0 grouping, you're going to end with a tubelet. So again, you have 4 tubelets and 4 of these little groupings in between each one, in between each tubelet. And then I'm just going to take my thread and bring them to the bottom. And since this is our first little unit, I'm going to tie a knot. And just snug enough. It doesn't have to be super tight. Just snug enough. So I'm just going to tie a quick knot here, just to keep everything from falling out. All right, so I have my knot, and then now I'm just going to go through everything one more time. So that means going in through, and try not to skip any beads, try not to skip any 11-0s, or don't skip your SuperDuo. And I'll just go through everything just to make this a little bit more sturdy. Almost done. And I actually want to get past my tail. I'm going to go all the way to the SuperDuo after this little tail. Pulling on the wrong thing there. Okay. My fingers are kind of in the way, but I'm just went through my beads one more time after the knot, and that's all I did. So this is what you have. You have a little square here. And what I'm going to do now, just to get this, I'm going to shorten my little tail. Okay. It's still there, but now it's not so... Now it won't get in my way so much. Okay, so I'm coming out of my SuperDuo, and I'm going to hop on over to the other hole of my SuperDuo. And then from here, I'm going to add two 15-0s, a crystal, and 2 15-0s. So it's 2 15-0s, a 1.5 by 2 crystal, and 2 15-0s. From this SuperDuo, I'm going to go to my next SuperDuo. And I'm going to go to through the top hole, the hole we haven't used yet. Okay, so on this first round, I did 2 15-0s, a crystal, followed by 2 15-0s. On my next one, I'm going to do 3 15-0s, a crystal, and 3 15-0s. Letting those drop, and I'm going to go through my next SuperDuo in line, and then I'm going to pull. Now we're back opposite our first one, where we did the 2 15-0s, the crystal, and the 2 15-0s, and I'm going to do that again. 2 15-0s, a crystal, and 2 15-0s. Go through your next SuperDuo, again, the top hole, and then now we're across the grouping where we did the 3 15-0s, the crystal, and the 3 15-ohs. So let's do that again. 3 15-ohs, a crystal, and 3 15-ohs. And now you're going to go through your last SuperDuo. So go ahead and do that and pull. Whoops. And this is what you should have. Okay, from this, we've already added our little groupings of 15-ohs with our crystals. Now what we're going to do, you want to be going through, I just did my last one and I'm coming out of the SuperDuo, and on this section is the 2 15-ohs, the crystal, and the 2 15-ohs. Sew through all of that till you are coming out of your first 15-oh out of your 3 15-oh grouping. So come out of your I'm still here on that same grouping, and I think I'm gonna have to change my needle because I'm using size 10 needle and it's kind of fat. So you want to be coming out of your first little 15-oh out of the grouping that has the 3 15-ohs, the crystal, and the 3 15-ohs. And I just loosened everything. That's okay, just kind of pull on it again. So I'm coming out of the first 15-oh from the grouping of my 3 15-ohs with my crystal and my 3 15-ohs. Now I'm going to pick up a halo bead, and I'm going to go through this left hole. I'm going to pick up my RounTrio, and I'm going to go through this end hole. We're only going to use our end holes, not the middle hole. And then go through the other hole of your halo and pull. Now I'm coming out of this, well, let me move this 15-oh here. I'm going to go through this first 15-oh here across it, and I'm going to go that way. So put in your little halo, get it in place, and you might have to just hold it like this between your fingers. And I'm coming out of my halo here. You can see me, I'm coming out of my halo. I'm going to go through this 15-oh right here. And then I'm going to go through the SuperDuo, and that's going to put my halo there. It's still loose. We got to do that on this side now. But we got to sew all the way around till we get to this 15-oh here. So as I said, you're going to sew through these, through this grouping. That's your 2 15-ohs, your crystal, and your 2 15-ohs. And you're going to have to sew all the way around. Okay, I'm going to pull. Go through your SuperDuo. And then now your little grouping here. Go through the crystal and out of these 15-ohs. And we have to sew all the way to where we get to our grouping of 3 15-ohs with the crystal, but we have to be coming out. See, here I am where I need to be. Here's my grouping. I'm coming out of that first 15-oh. Now from here, I'm going to go through my halo bead, my RounTrio, and out my halo bead again. And then I'm going to go through that 15-0 here that's closest to my SuperDuo here. And then I'm going to go through my SuperDuo, and that is going to put our halo in place. So you should have, if you're looking at your piece, you should have 2 strings going through your unit this way, parallel to each other, up and down like that. And these strings are connected to this grouping here of your 3 15-0s, your crystal and your 3 15-0s. This is the grouping that we're attaching, whoops, our halo bead, our halo and our RounTrio to. So this is what we got. And at this point, I'm just going to go through everything here again, meaning all of my 15-0s and my crystals, just to put one thread through everything. Once I do that, I'm going to come out of a SuperDuo the way I am now, and then I'm going to go through my other hole of my SuperDuo. So I'm going to hop back down to my first level here, and I'm going to reinforce everything there. So, but for right now, I just put in my halo and my RounTrio, and I'm coming out of this SuperDuo here. I'm going to go through everything here one time. I'm going to do that now, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm coming out of my tubelet. So now you're going to do, since you're coming out of your tubelet, you're going to start with your little grouping of 11-0, SuperDuo, whoops, and 11-0. And since you already are using one tubelet because you're using the one on this component, you're just going to add 3 more, and you're going to separate them with this little grouping here of 11-0, SuperDuo, and 11-0. So I'm doing that now, and I'm actually checking my SuperDuos as I pick them up. I forgot that on my while I was doing my first one, but it worked out. So on goes my third tubelet, and here goes my last grouping for this little component of 11-0, SuperDuo, 11-0. Now we're going to go through this tubelet here and bring everything together, and then just reinforce it by going through everything one more time. And make sure you don't skip any 11-0s. So just check your work. And I don't think I'm skipping anything. Going down this tubelet. And then this grouping here. And you can really feel that before you add this second thread, everything's kind of loose. So it is a recommended. I do recommend that you reinforce everything once you've added it, and then go through your tubelet. And then once you've reinforced it, sew on over to the 11-0 and SuperDuo of your first grouping here. Come out of your SuperDuo, and then step up by going through the, just pulling everything tight, by going through the other hole of your SuperDuo. Now, here is where you need to make sure you pay attention, because you want to, when you did your groupings on your first unit, it didn't matter because it was your first unit. But now you want to make sure that all of your groupings. Since I have my groupings of 2 15-0s, crystal 2 15-0s going this way, you want to make sure from here on out all of your units you have the same kind of grouping. Since the way I have my unit sitting on my mat, I have my grouping that I'm talking about here vertical, whereas the other one is going this way, horizontal. So since in my first unit they're vertical, you want to make sure that they're all vertical, just like in your first unit. So in other words, this one is 2 crystal 2 15-0s. Since this is going in the same way vertically, you want to make sure that part also has the 2 15-0s, the crystal, and the 2 15-0s. And then you will go through your next SuperDuo through the empty hole. If everything's loose while you're doing this part, that's fine. And then now you're coming out of your next one. It's going to be 3 15-0s, a crystal, and 3 more 15-0s. Going through your next SuperDuo, the empty hole. And then your back opposite side of the one where you did the 2 15-0s in the crystal. So you're going to do that again. 2 15-0s, crystal, and 2 15-0s. And then go through the SuperDuo, the next SuperDuo, and pull. And then we're back to the last one, and we're opposite the one where we did the 3 15-0s. So you're going to do that again. 3 15-0s, crystal, 3 15-0s, go through your SuperDuo, this next grouping, and you want to go all the way until you're coming out of the grouping that has, in other words, the grouping right after this one with the 3 15-0s, and you want to be coming out of that first 15-0. So just like this, I'm coming out of the first 15-0 here. Okay, so once again, I'm coming out of the first 15-0 on my grouping that has the 3 15-0s with a crystal. I'm coming out of that first one right here on my left side, not on the ones on the right side of my crystal, the ones on the left side. Coming out of that first one, I'm going to add my halo bead with my RounTrio. I'm going to go through an end hole. Again, we're not using the middle hole for this project. And then well, make sure you're coming out of that same hole on the same side of your halo bead. Pull your thread through it, and then directly across from that one is the other grouping of your 3 15-0s, your crystal and your 15-0s. So you are going to go through, you're coming out of this first 15-0 here, and then you added your halo and your RounTrio. You're going to go through the first 15-0 on the opposite side, and then you're going to go back into the SuperDuo, and then you're going to go into the little grouping after it with the 2, the crystal, and the 2. And then now you have to sew all the way till you get to your grouping again, of your 3 15-0s, your crystal and your 3 15-0s, but you have to get to the other grouping. This is the one, not the other grouping, but you have to get to and the reason why you can't go through this one to do this next step is because you won't be going in through your halo the right way, and you'll see what I mean when you start doing the project. So on through, and now we're going, and here's our grouping of our 3, 1, and 3 again. I'm coming out of my SuperDuo, going through the first 15-0, and see, you need to be going in through that direction. That's why you can't go in on this side, because you won't be coming out in the direction that you need to be. You need to be coming out like this. Okay, you went in through your SuperDuo after this one here. You went in through your SuperDuo and came out through your first 15-0 like that. And now you're going to go through the halo, the round trio and the halo. Okay. Took a little bit longer than it should have, but it's all right. And I'm coming out of my halo here. Now we need to go in this direction, this way towards you, through that first, or through that 15-0 before the SuperDuo. And then go through the SuperDuo, and if you catch your 15-0s after it, that's fine, because we're going to go through all those anyway. Okay, so I have put my second halo in place. Now if you look closely, your threads, to make sure that you're putting them on right, that everything is going in the same direction that it needs to, your threads that are going through from your halo into your round trio should be going in the same direction. So I have the way I'm holding my piece, 2 threads that you can see, and they're going up and down. And on this one, they're also going up and down. If you have threads going up and down in one, and then side, and then going in the other, I guess that would be side by side, or not parallel to the ones in your prior unit, then you know that, unless you want them that way, then you know that you don't have these on here right. And also, the reason why you want to attach your units from a tubelet that has the grouping with the 2, the crystal, and the 2 like that, is because when you set it down, your crystals won't touch, because you have fewer beads here on the side, right? And your crystals won't touch when you set it down. Okay, so I did all of my little units, and I added the on this end, my little seed beads there, so I could attach some jump rings, since I'm just using a lobster clasp with this one. And I made it a little bit smaller than the previous ones that I had made, so because I wanted it to fit better. So this is what we have. This is how it looks, and it's really pretty. It's really cute, and it's really easy too. So now the difference between these, I added crystals. On this one, I did not. This only has seed beads, 15-0s all around. Now on this side, it has 7 seed beads, on this side as well, and on these sides it has 6. So 6, 7, 6, and 7. And then I attached my round trio on the side that had the 7 15-0s. So this is how it came out. This is how it came out with just the seed beads, and it looks just as pretty. It's really pretty too, and I like them both. So this is what you got. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.